The hunt to hold more people accountable is now underway. It's sparking debate on who should be held responsible and what consequences they should face.
11 Alive's Naima Abdullahi takes a look for us tonight.
With the recent update from Twitter, the calls for accountability grow louder.
After 5 people died, 83 were arrested and about 40 police officers were hurt after that angry mob stormed through the Capitol, forcing lawmakers to hide for safety. The viral moments leading to arrests. Richard Barnett, a 60-year-old man from Arkansas, photographed sitting in House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's desk, has been arrested. And a West Virginia lawmaker, Derek Evans, is charged after recording himself storming into the Capitol building. The biggest word of the week: accountability. How did this even happen in the first place? The FBI announced 13 people have been charged in federal court and about 40 people charged in Superior Court, and the Capitol's top 3 security officials resigned under pressure. Atlanta's very own Bernice King tweeting, quote, "Some things being labeled as cancel culture are actually examples of accountability." House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says accountability means to move forward with an impeachment process if President Donald Trump does not resign. This just a few weeks away from inauguration as Joe Biden's term as the 46th president starts. Accountability. Now that Twitter has suspended President Trump's account, his instantaneous reactions may have to find another platform to directly communicate with his supporters.